Leading our revolution in those lost spaces and realities. He was here, an ambitious young artist in San Francisco, came to make a name for herself. And the fact that this talented woman was on the verge of doing just that, when someone violently took her life, is what makes this case so tragic to me. Elizabeth Street in Lower Manhattan runs from the heart of Soho through Little Italy and then into Chinatown.
As usual, I've just got to mute you all. It's got background stuff. People forget they're unmuted, so it interferes with the trading room. Clearly, as always, if you want to interact, just tell me and I'll mute. It's a hassle, but people forget, to be fair. Morning, guys. Yeah, I probably gathered it's moi, that is in Roger. On now the trading room. I'll be doing some Tuesday as per normal. We do the turnaround on Wednesday. So yeah, it's just so you know, actually back on Wednesday. I know he's got a lot of followers. That's great. If you don't like me or following me, well, take a coffee break, because I'm whether you like it or not, you're stuck with them, I'm afraid, guys, till Wednesday. Okay, right. Discuss the trade. It's not half past yet. Give me a moment. Just want to wait till other guys to join. Just having a quick fillip, excuse me. Okay, it's half past. Okay, yeah, had a normal strategy update meeting, came out with a few ideas to discuss later, but the company decided to send this one out of mine. I think the ship might have sailed, to be honest. Okay, pity. I got it to most of you guys I could earlier on. Some in here might have actually got it okay and joined it. What about joining it now? Ooh, dear. Just come off a little bit quickly than expected. I don't trade idea sent out, but I got in around about the 51.90 area. Some guys might have grabbed a little bit better, but that ship sailed now. I have to wait for a retracement. What a pity. Sun decides going to come off just to inconvenience me for the 9:30 start. What a pity. But I think one or two guys had time in between the strategy meeting and starting the trading room to manage to copy and paste a few guys. We are working on where we can get a group where I can just post it and make it a lot easier for everybody. We should be get okay, hopefully the next few days, maybe the next week. We talked out for a while. I'm pushing for it because it makes life a lot easier. You know, I mean, copy and pasting, by the time I copy and pasted Joe's soap at number 20, the ship might have sailed or something like that. It's quick just to put on a group, but we're working on it. Hope it'll get the regulator okay so I can do it instead of individual basis. Okay. Well, Mike, well bloody done. That's all right, yeah. I also want to mention that, guys, if you do get a signal, it's not always put on there. I try to remember to forget myself. It's sell short at 151.80 or better. Doesn't mean to say if it's 152, you wait to get back to 150 at 1.8. or put a sell stop in. There's no point in doing that. What you do is you get in because it's better immediately. You're getting a better price. So instead of 150 Rand a micro, it could be 130 Rand a micro. So it might mean you get an extra larger size volume because you're getting a better price because it jumps around. By the time we discussed it, it's sent out by the company. You know, the market's moving. I try to get out, copy and paste as many as I could. Some guys got a little bit low. Everyone's in profit. But yeah, just I know how it works. Because I'm appealing to people to got to use a lot of common sense rather than astronomical intelligence abilities. You're not studying quantum mechanics or becoming a surgeon or whatever. It's just common sense is the name of the game. And I know when you first start, major problems, confidence is not there. So the best way for you guys, please, is understand the platform. It's very time consuming when I get guys asking me, how do I modify stop loss? How do I close my trade? How do I place a trade? I'll be quite brutally honest, that's not my job. It's assumed a person trading has taken the trouble to learn how to operate the platform. If they can't do that, they might be battling to go forward with the derivatives trading that this encompasses, because there's a little bit more to it than pressing a button on a machine. So if you find that difficult, one has to question a bit. You've got to be on top of the platform and use a bit of common sense with helping everything else. Okay. Maybe it's harsh, but it's factual, and it holds up the guys who want to get into trades as well. Okay. Now, going back, this is a trading room. A lot of times, I think people are spending time on training in the trading room. That's incorrect. There's three reasons. Number one, there's traders who want to get stuck into trades. Number two, there's guys aboard a course. Why are they getting? So it's unfair on them. And number three, why should you get a free trading when other guys are paid for it? So this is for clarification and trading. Trading comes first. You come first. If you want to look at the euro dollar, go to it right now. Post it on there, and I will look at it right now. If you say, what's that line there? I don't mind saying that's the 50-day moving average, or how to set your charts up, right click or save it, or the DXY, I can post all that. That's not a problem, but this is not a trade room. I'm not going to go into in-depth, technical analysis. It's not right for the guys who want to trade and who've taken time and trouble to buy a course and learn it. This is not a freebie for those guys who don't know what a support or resistance or a Fibonacci is. No, that's for the classes. Okay, very important. Okay, so this is a trading room and I specialize on that. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I think we've done pretty well. I've not put in the commentator's curse on it. For the last few months, we've done pretty well. We get the bad ones, we always do. We get bad days, we always do. And I don't like them any more than you do, but we've had more good days than bad. So yeah, know how to modify stop loss, know how to protect profit, know how to use some common sense, know when to chase it, when not to chase it. The ship or sell, wait to retrace it or you miss it. If you get a better price, think a little bit. Get your position sizing right. Again and again and again and again, it's the problem. People complain when they're either margin called or they got a problem because the volumes are incorrect to the balance. They're putting in either usually overexposure or not the slightest clue what those volumes should be. You've got to say, what are you prepared to risk? We give the risk per 0.01. Even on the signal, it's a KV sent out the MD5 platform, they see 0.02, 0.03, and they can't extrapolate that on basic 10-year-old arithmetic. They've got to start questioning, is this for them? This is not some sort of simple thing where I put in 50 bucks and someone's going to there turn that into a rainbow of gold. No, it's a skill like any other, and you've got to take that time and trouble to learn the basics. It's not that difficult, but still takes a little bit of effort. And those who trade here on the screen there will know that. Okay. Marks may have buyers and sellers, a lot of variables which you have to interact with and learn about. If you haven't got time, if you can't work out what it is. So get your position size calculator, do the maths, and get that right. I've been asked to mention every time, I think I do anyway, by the powers that be, that you've got to get that volume right. Because I'm going to be horribly honest with you, you're wasting our time as well as yours by cutting up the live trade, the live chat line, complaining and emailing and all the rest of it, because you can't work out a basic volume. The position size calculator, do it, download it onto your laptop, or find it. If you haven't got a laptop, as you should have, go to the App Store and find it. But for goodness sake, get that volumes correct. If you go in too big, you get margin call. That is your responsibility, not ours. Okay, very important. Been asked to spread out and learn certain terms. Okay, right. Morning, guys. AUD USD. Morning, Tebo. AUD USD. AUD USD. I want to sell it, but can I get a decent price? Well, I've shown every single word I agree. It's the overcooked part I don't like. Totally agree. Totally agree. It's the overcooked part. I think Zeph's here yet, but he joined it I think last week or the week before. I can't remember. When I thought it was a bit overcooked then, it did okay. But then again, I'm coming to the same problems with overcooked. I'm very much a dollar fan. The DXY is 113.17, 113 is held. Still a bit of strength of dollar going up. So yeah, I want to sell the damn thing, but I don't know, I'm chasing it now. If you want to, if other people want to, who I don't know. Remember, I don't know. All I know is I've got experience, but there's millions of people out there buying and selling with different strategies. So all I can say is for me, it's a bit overcooked, but I've been wrong before, could be wrong again. If you guys think, oh, I think I'll still chase it down there, tell me and we'll put on the calculator for you and see if we can get a decent risk reward for you. But for me, Cheryl, I'm afraid I'm with you on that one, a bit overcooked. I've got the dollar to buy in and the yen and the rest of them to sell. It's just trying to get a decent price. Okay. The euro, I want to sell it by a little bit wary. Lagarde speaking at 3:30, which basically means I might be a little bit nervous of a euro trade when she's coming up. Okay. I'm not saying I'm against it if you want to do it, but I'm just being aware of it. Just being aware that FOMC during Powell at 8 o'clock tonight, 3:30 Lagarde. Just bear that in mind. See, Chef Jacob should be. That was my idea, and I must say I liked it. Some guys got a bit nervous, it's hovering around. Was it day before yesterday, where it was? I said stick with it. Thank God it did go after saying that. It's doing this nicely. We would look at 148 on it. We're looking at one. We're moving on there, Sheridan. Come back, just say so. Hey. We're looking at 148 on it, and it's trying to move in that direction. Get your stop up. I know you guys got in. You should be going around about 145. 45, 145.50. If you did get your stop up to 146.50, then you know you're in a profit. You can't lose whatever happens, and see if you can ride it to the 148 TP. Okay. If any of what I say is gobbledygook, because sometimes I do speak fast, I'm doing it every day. It's my only bloody language, so I forget other people have got 2 or 3 to sometimes a dozen in their head. If I go quickly, you're not sure, just ask me to go over it again. Pick out those parts you're not sure of, and like GXY, what's that? I'll copy and post. Just ask it. Very, very important. It's a forum to interact. It's not just sit there, look at Facebook or play around on the phone. So I've done an hour and a half, so now I can trade. It doesn't work that way. Go interact. If you don't know and you don't ask, I assume you do know. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where you got in, Ken, clearly. But I'm saying I got in 145.45. I put my stop at 146.50, let it ride. Everyone must know that. If you don't know that, say so. If you don't know how to modify a stop loss, well, you should do. You should have got a platform trading with one company to provide that. I don't think other companies do that. The least you can do is attend it and learn how to operate the platform. I can give signals, but I cannot spend time teaching them through the platform. There's guys out there need my time on trade ideas and signals. It gets quite busy. Plus the trading while I'm doing it. So I'm not there to teach platform training. That's basics, which is done by the top and shade, Vince Clinton. Anyway. Okay. And don't send things to me saying I'm having trouble with my internet. I'm not quite sure I can do about that. You know, that's well tough. You know, things I can practically help you on trading. Okay. Right. Common sense, in other words. Okay. GBP, JPY. I've got that down, but I'm going to GBP, JPY. They're both weak currencies. I'm going to go into that a little bit. Just find it first of all. GBP, JPY. Right. They're both weak currencies. I think guys know me well enough now. I want to buy the strong one and sell the weak. I can't find a weak and I want to trade them out of the medium. But I'm a bit nervous of buying a strong one and selling a strong one, or buying a weak one and selling a weak one. Doesn't give me enough play, if you like. I'd rather have a heavyweight and a lightweight, and then I look at the charts. But that being as it may, it's there to be traded. You want to look at it as a sell. The pound's pretty weak, but the yen's a bit weak as well. On the daily, it's definitely the weaker of the two. The pound, I agree with you, but look how close those two moving averages are. It means it's pretty sideways, which backs up what I'm saying. They're pretty evenly matched. There's probably a points decision at the end of the boxing match. They weren't good, no. You're quite right, Connie, they weren't good. So rather have a roughy toughy against a weaker person rather than two roughy toughies or two weak guys. Common sense, more difficult to pick. I'm looking for a knockout in the first round, my friend. Then I can go off to the pub and celebrate my winnings, rather than waiting out for a points decision can go either way. Get the idea. Common sense. Okay. For that reason. Want to explain something until I see it? I'll stop me immediately if you ask a question or anything like that. Okay, happy with that, Cheryl? Good. Hope everyone sees it. If you're not, I'll explain it again. It's important. Now, until that comes first. Trading ideas come first. In the meantime, just want to explain something which I knew about, came forth on 7:02 yesterday. My old KI, Viv Govender, was on there. I've known him for quite a while, going back, I think, about 13, 14 years now. He's in Credit Suisse now, or Grand Suisse, or something like that now. Moved around a bit, and he's often on Business Day and on there because it's expert analysis. And something he pointed out, which I saw new about, I thought brought to mind and maybe share with you. I've been going on for a while about the problem of the world is debt. We live on borrowed money. We don't live on cash, we live on debt. I want to give you some idea of the extent of it. The GDP, the world GDP is plus minus 100 trillion, not billion, trillion. Oh, it's not billion, that's kept around by individuals now. $100 trillion. The problem is the world debt is $300 trillion. Get the idea. Now, let's go to Japan. Japan hasn't been raising interest rates, whereas the others have. Why not, when the yen is weak? Well, there's a few reasons, but the major reason is Japan has one of the biggest debt to GDP, gross domestic product, that is, ratings in the world. It's about 250 ratio. So in other words, 300 million debt, 100 million GDP is 3 to 1. 250 to 1 is like 2.5 to 1. So their debt is huge compared to their GDP. They can service that debt. Most people in professional jobs are usually pretty stressed, not to their job, because of their outgoings. They're in debt, but the banks will throw more debt at them because they pay their debt on time. The debit orders go through. Once you service the debt, they quite have to throw more at you, to be honest. Well, Japan is servicing that debt. The problem is, if they start to increase interest rates, they might get a situation where they can't service their debt. A bit like ESCOM, where the interest on the debt, they can't even pay, so they can't even eat the capital, if you get my point. So as a result, they had to choose where they cannot, at this stage, increase interest rates for the reasons I've just given. So that means a weaker currency. Also, they can only do it by generating exports. I agree about the dollar of the oil price being high is a major problem, as it obviously import their oil. But at the same time, the exporting nation, I mean, Corolla might just a reliable car, might not be sexy like a Merc or a BM, but still it's a reliable car, and it makes it more competitive with the South Korean motor car, etc. And they do other stuff, as we all know, Japanese products. So their method is to have a weak yen, which means their exports are good, and try and export themselves out of their debt, which they're servicing, but they can't increase it without a problem, if that makes sense. So putting that together, the way it affects you guys is, I see ongoing Japanese weakness. There's no ways around it, ongoing Japanese weakness, which is good for us traders, not for them, because now we find a nice little we talk about the Swiss franc being stable. We've got a nice little stable Japanese yen now, which is nice and weak. So we can get roughy toughies like CADs and CHFs and US dollars to buy and sell the yen. You get my point. Stably weak. That's what we look at. So just bear that in mind. So even though the pound's weak at the moment, the ongoing yen weakness, and the pound is not that stable. Well, the yen is stably weak. You get my point. That's one of the reasons I want to avoid this one. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Right, so bear that in mind, guys. Okay, that's why the CHF JPY, I say hold on, because the Swiss franc jumps around like all that, but it's pretty stable in the strong zone, yen, as I just mentioned, the weak zone. So I expect more upside. Okay, so we can look quickly at the US dollar yen. I want to buy that. Well, that's pretty obvious I want to buy it. The dollar index is trying to move up again. It's held at 113. It's come off from 114, I think, a day or so ago, but it's trying to move back up. Bond rates over the world are increasing, with the exception of America, which has no premium. The others got premiums, and that's why people like to go to the dollar. It's the most stable from that point of view. Nothing to do with their debt. They've got debts, but they basically rule the currency. They've got the dollar, and they're more in the position to get more bonds. People take them because the security there, so they can borrow money, blue in the face, much almost limitlessly. So from that point of view, for a safe haven, people like the dollar. So the dollar is looking good, and clearly, oops, I haven't done the thing yet. We want to be buying it, and I see one more being attacked again. Okay, they have to get this inflation under control. If they don't, that dollar could have world economic effect that would be turned toward anarchy. We have no idea how the problem will be. They realize that. The Man Street doesn't. They say, I'm going to go and strike because the bread price is too high. I mean, with all due respect, they think we know the bigger picture. Powell and the guys at the top clearly do. They've got to get that inflation under control. So the hawkish stance, very light, despite political pressure from the Dems wanting votes, will economically probably go forward and continue. So we want to buy the dollar, and we clearly want to sell the yen. That little chit chat it's given you. Okay. So do we buy it now? Well, funny enough, high though it is, that's not a bad idea. However, Cheryl, being a bit of a chicken here, I'm just wondering if we can't get a better price. Remember, strong or big jumps around. That's a fundamental number. It still moves around. Look at the 1 hour. They all move around. Buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers. All that's telling me on the 1 hour, nothing to do with the big chat on the macroeconomic perspective I just mentioned, is buyers and sellers a little bit decisive because they know it's a bit high, but they don't want to miss out and buy it. And other guys saying a bit nervous this time, soon I make a couple of bucks, I'm out of it because I basically want to jump into the better price. That's what the buyers and sellers are telling you by looking at that on a shorter term. You see the wicks, you see the up and down. They want to buy it, but they're nervous. It's a bit high. Like I've just said about the AUD USD to Cheryl just now. I'm a bit nervous. Well, if I'm a bit nervous, the other guys are going to be nervous as well. So they want to buy it, and it's not wrong to buy it. So guys, we've got a reasonable amount looking for longer term. I see 150 on this and say, right, massive wide stop, go for it, etc. The other guys, unfortunately, we've got a rather large book. I'll be honest with you, very small accounts, so they can't afford to do that. So they're going to have to wait and hope we get a better price to buy, which I personally think, putting on a daily chart, is going to be somewhere around this level here, which is 145. We get 145, we can go steaming in. It's 114 pips away. So wait for that. But if you can afford it, let's say afford it, 20, 30 grand upwards in your account, you might want to take a small position, smaller you might normally do. At least you're on board and add to it if it comes off a bit. That is your choice for those who can afford it. Okay, but upside's the name of the game. 150 we see, which brings me back. Is the reason why a lot of people count so small is not because they're broke. They probably drive around a motor car costing a fortune, and that's a liability. They're leveraging in debt because they're unsure and nervous. Fair enough. But I'm going to say, in all honesty, you do need capital in a capitalist society. If you want money and you like capitalism, you need capital. That's why it's called capitalism. And if you're undercapitalized, everything's going to be uphill. Don't care what somebody says. I'm going to get a miracle for my little amounts of money. The likelihood the miracle won't occur. That 10 rand could turn into 40 million rand jackpot, but the likelihood you're going to lose 10 rand. Just bear that in mind. Isaac. So you basically, if you do the job properly, you need capital. And people trying to open up a business with a few hundred or a couple of grand or something, you just think about it. How many businesses can open up for that? See, it's going to be a struggle. However, doesn't mean to say if you haven't got it, you've got to start somewhere. But just bear in mind, it's limiting, very, very limiting what you can do. Don't overexpose. You've got a small amount. Most trades you're going to miss. And if you do, you might only go 0.01, which is a slow process. But just don't try and get cute by saying, I want to increase my leverage to 501 so you get bigger positions. You're screaming for a margin call. Because number one, you probably don't understand the meaning of the pros and cons of leverage. If you don't, then likelihood, when it's a zero-sum game, your lack of knowledge will give to the people who have knowledge. Remember, every time you lose a buck, someone else has made a buck. use a guy who's got the capital, the knowledge, and taken the effort. Basic that, you get the idea. If you haven't got the knowledge, you haven't got the equipment, you haven't got the capital, well, you're going to battle to compete. Just bear that in mind. So rather get the knowledge and build up your capital, and then you start to see the fruits of your labor. Like a guy who got the degree in a medical degree, he's got a better chance than a guy who didn't, basically. Right, okay, so I think that's all cleared that up. Everyone must have the position size calculator. Don't forget, get down the live chat, have it downloaded, then you put in the figures, and then you can see the risk is over 1.5, but more to the point of the risk for 0.01. So if your risk is 0.01, 4, 2 or 3 or 4, do the math and work it out. Simple as that. If you're risking 1,000, divide in the risk per micro, and it gives you how many micros to buy, or minis or standards, for those who've got a decent tom. Okay, right. So keep an eye on that. We want to buy it. I've got a few I want to discuss with you. If you come up with anything there, I will stop and go to that immediately. But I'm looking at a couple, AUDJPY. How's that one going, buddy? We'll send out GBPCAD. GBPCAD, is that coming right? That's coming right. Good stuff. Those who got it, doing okay. Right. AUDJPY. AUDJPY. Right. Knock this off on the daily. I'm looking at a buy on this one. I just want to get the 4 out quickly for you. It seems to be taking out this area here, and I think it might hold. So I'm looking at a buy on this one, AUDJPY. I mentioned, let's have a look now. I've mentioned earlier on about the weakness of JPY, and I expect it to be ongoing, and the reasons why. Okay, right. So, where am I? So I expect some upside on this one. You can see it's between the 200 and the 50. Remember, that's the 200, simple moving average, and the 50, simple moving average. Daily on this one, but you multiply it by the candle. So it's a daily on this one. It's in a neutral, you buy it or sell it. Bit nerves this week, bit nerves of this, and I can see we had a bit of a downside here, bit of retracement, but I see a little bit of support here, but maybe a little, there we are. I see some support here on the daily. Okay, now looking at the 4 hour, again, I see it's on the sell on the 4 hour, I get that, but I do see it's a bit overcooked. See the yen is weak. Aussie is okay. It's not the strongest in the middle zone, it's okay. If we can get a stop loss down here somewhere, it's only about 60 pips away, we can look at maybe, in fact, maybe get a wider stop, maybe get it below here. Maybe do a better one, maybe 100 pips stop, means you get less volume, clearly, because your risk is slightly high, or well, obviously, time spelling out the obvious, sorry, start losing it, yeah. So bottom line is, you take it up to here. That might just about cut it. That's not going to cut it. If you take the wider stop, you'd have to aim up here. Bottom line is anyone, before we look at the position size calculator, see upside here, or do you want some more confirmation? Nervous, frightened, we'll look at the downside. Any comments on this? Made my little case. I see some upside. This is when it's a forum, remember, guys? And Zephyr, you're an absolute star. We want, and Cheryl, and finally, we want some others to show you've learned. We've got 40 odd people in here, so it's up to them to take action. You see, I have JPY as well. It's just come to the party, because I'm feeling questions we're getting afterwards. They're sitting through this, and it's all gobbledygook, and they're too scared to ask. They're too scared to ask. I can't help you. Too many wicks. Okay. Have you ever seen the film Amadeus? Came out in the 80s, won all the Oscars. And was it Ferdinand? What was his bloody name? I forget his name now. Austrian guy. Anyway, and he asked what he thought of Mozart, and he says, too many notes. Too many notes. You see some more selling. Well, there you are, guys. Anyone want to sell it? I mean, we're not talking about the guys who leave alone. That's obviously up to them. Anyone want to sell it? Anyone want to buy it? Clearly, you remember Amadeus. What a brilliant film. My favourite. Got mentioned classical music and brilliant. So, if you want to sell it, say so. If you want to buy it, say so. I need some feedback. It's a normal story. Okay, Philip. Anyone want to join Philip? I'll put the precision size calculator up if I need someone. Petro? No. Is that the Petro I know? I'm not sure. No. Okay. Yes. All right. Good enough. Two's good enough. Right. Let's have a look. Where can we put the stop? I'm going to go for a wider stop. If anyone wants a tighter stop, just please tell me. And we'll put the TP in here. I think it's going to work there. Gonna make it about there. 93.10. That should do 110 bucks a mica. That's all right. Who likes it? You still like it? All right, Petra, good stuff. I'm never sure it's Petra or Petros. Now I know. Okay, right. Finally likes it, Philip. Are you going to go in on it? Now you got the figures, so I'll write it down. And if you don't want to go for it, it's not a pretty sight, but I'm going to sulk. In fact, I'm going to go and send a letter of complaint to Cyril Ramaphosa if you don't like it. Good stuff. So good old Cyril's not going to get a letter from me. 62 and what's it? 93.1. Just write that down. If you want to know if you like the signal, Petra, you can post it on for me for the others. Okay. EP, LTP. Okay, all right. Where are we? Okay, so we'll come back and see how that goes. Go on to the next one. Good luck, guys. They're the ones with bloody gonads. Right, gonna knock that off. Come back to it if you want it. Right. EUR, I think, anyone on the EUR, I mentioned the economic calendar with regards to speaking later on. If anyone wants to look at the EUR, well, I'll put it up anyway. I'm just a bit nervous at the moment for that reason. But EUR AUD, I think it's overcooked. There's a possibility of a bit of downside here. Yeah, it's a bit of resistance coming on the weekly. There could be a bit of downside. But I think it's a bit preemptive to sell it, even because it's in the buy range here. A bit preemptive to sell it just in case Lagarde goes fairly hawkish and gets more strength. So I think if you want to come back, we can. I think we might be a bit more prudent to leave this alone. GBP CHF is one I'm going to look at. Remember, CHF is strong, GBP is weak. You get my point? I think it's a bit preemptive to jump in now. Do you want to get a better price? But I think sells the name of the game. Clearly the 200 is up there. Sells the name of the game. Euro GBP. No, we can't. You won that last trade against me, Zeph, and I still haven't forgiven you. So no, we can't. Look at me right now in the moment. Euro, sorry about that. Euro GBP. Okay, just going to write that down. God, I'm a sore loser, eh? God. Obviously, I'm joking, Zeph, you quite like I say. Right, GBP CHF. Should we go to Euro GBP quickly, or should we do this one first? Anyone like this one? We'll go to Euro GBP. How's that? Well, hang on. I didn't say you guys come first, but I'm not back off now, eh? Yeah, I hope it's fairly obvious, but you never know. I put one guy, he said he got trades today, and said, I'm afraid not. So he came back and said, what are you afraid of? Didn't quite know what to say to that. Lost in translation or culture somewhere. Euro GBP. Remember, I've got a very much John Cleese kind of sense of humor, so just bear that in mind. Euro GBP. I'm probably looking to set as I'll buy it, I guess. Bit of indecision today. I think expect a bit of indecision going through the 330. Bear that in mind. But that apart, I presume you want to buy it. What do you want to do? Oh, here's a buy. Sorry, I'm looking to buy it. Okay, good enough. Yeah. Right. If you want to buy it, I'm just warning. Remember, it might be a complete damn squib, and you just continue waiting for nothing. But we'll see anyway. Is that too far away, or do you want to make it tight? Maybe below the 200, below the 10-day. And mind you, you tend to look at longer term anyway. But I think I'm going to wait on this one for the reasons I gave. But Zeph, over to you. You obviously know what you're talking about, so I tease you. I don't tease the people who don't know because they might not get the idea. But I want to candle close. Okay, 88616. You're going to wait a bit on this one. 88616. You're going to wait a bit. All right, if anyone likes it, come back to it. So we'll move back to the other one then. Keep an eye on what you've written down. What we're looking at? GBP CHF, that's right. Remember, GBP is a weak one and CHF is a strong one. I see. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, 1 hour. Not happening. Look at the wick coming in. Remember, guys, the wick tells what the buy and sell are doing. It's going up. Look what happens. Even the 1 hour, sellers are coming in. This is the 50 minutes. Trying to go up, sellers coming in. Trying to go up, sellers are coming in. So let's have a look. I think there's a possibility of this one as a short. And it's got, as you can see here, a little bit of resistance on that level, which has been defended. But as you can see, it dipped down a bit low on this last 4 hour. The daily downside. Well, look at the weekly hour on the bloody subject. Yeah, there we are. How far away is that? Probably too far. Not too far, pity. So, being that as it may, go back to 15 quickly. Any sign of seem to come in a bit? Yeah. Might have been a noise around the round figure of 1.09, but I do see some downside there. So market, wait for a better price, wait for a break. Any comments? I do like the downside there. No comments? Any feedback? Just wait for the feedback. CHF's still going up, good stuff. What's Brent doing as you're looking at that? Bloody Brent. It's got to break through that 50-day and then we're going to get some decent move down. Okay, any comments on this one? I'm going to get any feedback. Are you not interested in this one? Okay, well, we'll look at a pleasure. I think you might have missed that boat. I've tempted to go to 1680 to send that sell idea and a chicken out. I think should sell. But anyway, okay. You want mean a rally? If you want to short it in a rally, just to be technical there, so you want to get a better price. I think you're missing out, but okay, that's up to you. Nobody wants to join this. All right, okay. That's not rest relaxation. Nothing rest or relaxation like this, eh? Where can you put the stop? It's a bit wide. That's the thing I don't like. Maybe put a bit tighter. Come on, put a bit tighter. Still a bit wide. Do the 4 hour. Get a better on the 4 hour. That's about the best I can do. Okay. TP will stick there. 106. That's a bit far, isn't it? Make it 1.07. Just make sure it's not a thumbs up. Give me a second. That's about right. That's fine. That's about right. There you are. Decent risk reward. Wide stop. I think it's better in other circumstances. 200 bucks a micro. Potential being the operative word there on delete. Not sure we'll get an entrance just yet. We'll have a look. Anyone like this one? For the record, I do. Look at the Nasdaq like that. What are the Nasdaq goals? Let's write that down. Give me a minute, second, guys. USD. Just write that down to look at in a minute. Just a second, guys. Right. Anyone like this? Moving along. If you don't say so, we don't spend half an hour while we're sort of trying to make our minds up. Markets move. Do you like it? Do you want to skip it? Petra likes it. Good for you. You can sit it out. Okay, Cheryl, thanks for the response anyway. Anyone like it? I need another one before we can go for it. Good enough. Okay, Lucas. That's up to you, okay? All right, up to you guys. Okay, we're going to 1.10 ticket. 1.0910. 1 point. Remember, it goes up a bit. Don't panic. We've got a wide stop. 1.1019. 1.07. Okay, there you are. If you want it, let's see how that goes. Right. What did you want to look at then? GBP USD. That's GBP USD. And then we'll go to the NAS, etc. GBP USD. I think that ship sailed. Look at gold. Yeah, I might have missed that. We'll come back in a moment anyway. GBP USD. Clearly want to sell it, but I would like to get it near the 10-day moving average for the gentle line. I feel that as well, yeah. On this one, maybe 1.11. So 120 odd pips away. Might not get that. Might have to make a plan, but I'm a bit nervous at chasing it now. Let's look at the 1 hour. Bit indecisive on the 1 hour. Did you get that? I think maybe just sit tight on this one. I think we're going to probably miss it, I'm afraid to say, but I'm still scared to chase these levels. I'm not sure we can get the bounce. That's my worry. The DXY start to march upwards. It's a hectic stop if you want to do it. Let's have a look. Don't want to miss it, but don't want to chase it and get tears, you know. You're looking at about it's about a $15 stop for micro. That's, you know, that 20 around a micro. I think we have to just hope. I think just risk missing it. There are opportunities and get a better price. Great stuff. Okay. Gold. I'm annoyed myself. I nearly sent it out to my guys at 1680 yesterday, and I hovered and faffed around and figured out a bit. Something else cropped up. My excuse, and I'm sticking to it, and it came off. I want to get it slightly higher up, to be honest. I hope we're going to get it, but not sure we're going to. If you're in it, we don't want a better price, clearly, obviously, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm going to get it 1680. I'll put a line there to remind myself and nothing else. Right about that level, 1680-ish. If we can get back up there, but we'll see anyway. I'm a little bit uncomfortable chasing these levels. You're going to have a decent stop. Then is it going to get to 1650? I get a risk reward. You might get to 1626, but too many ifs and buts for me at this level. I want a better one. Forget last for gold. Petro, yeah. I want to sell it, but I want to sell it a little bit higher up. Okay. If we miss it, we miss it, but I'm not sure I want to chase it now. But yeah, downside's the name of the game. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so anyone want to do gold these levels, or do you want to wait, like I mentioned? Just my view. It might be wrong. You might have another view. Anyone want to do at these levels? You're in for, well, that's fine, then you're doing okay. Yeah, okay. Better levels, sell it. If you're already instant Friday, the last thing you want it to go up to get other guys in. Selfish sport, this. It's not a team sport. We want to continue down. Never is a team sport when it comes to money, eh? Okay, fair enough, fine. Let it go. Right. The NAS, our friend the NAS. Don't know if I read my weekly snippet. Sell the rally, sticking to that plan. Holds below 11,000, then we can sell it. If it can't, then sell it around about 11.5 as before. No change on that one. See downside, not much problem there. Okay, I'll look at the 10-year yields. They're doing okay. Come off of it, they're still very high, 3.9. The Fed's going to watch that very carefully. They don't like it that high. That's inflationary. It means the hawkish stance will continue. Plus, it's bad for the markets, as in not the forex, and about stock markets. So yeah, downsides there. Yeah, downsides the name again. What's the down doing? It's up 110, but wouldn't take much notice of that. That's nothing on that. Could jump around next 10 minutes and even Steven again. So bottom line is, it's below 11,000. Looks like it's holding 11,000 or just above, around about these levels here. Yeah, it seems to be holding since, what are we now, Wednesday? Since Friday, it seems to be holding. Basically this week it's held. So we sell it. I'd rather go the S&P because it's basically more affordable. Remember, guys, don't touch this. You haven't got 5K or more. Don't even think about it. If you do, you're going to say, please margin call me. And worse could happen. You can get lucky, and then you double up next time. You're 5-0 on leverage, understanding it, and then next time around, you get margin call. So don't touch it. You've got 5 grand or less. Those who've got more, want to have a look at a sell on this. Stop loss will be above 11,000. Maybe you've got to be wide on 11.1. That's about what? Set to 250 pips stop. About $25. What's that? 250, about 300 rand. About 300 rand a micro. It's like slightly more actually. $25. That's about 400 rand a micro, plus minus, off the top of my head. Don't make me put it up if you can't afford it. But anyone who seriously want to do it and got the Tom to do this, 400 rand a micro. That's your risk of 1 micro. If not, we'll move to the S&P. But don't forget, this is a good guide. If you want to sell short some of the other tech stocks or an idea what's going on, it's a good guide to have it handy. Nobody else to do it? Okay, we'll move on. Come back to if you want. You want to do it, you got the Tom. Okay. The 61.8 Fibonacci on the weekly, around about the 10.5 mark. Take my word for it, save time, put it all up again. Those who know me have seen it before, so trust me, it's there. You get yourself a 1 to 5 risk-reward ratio, it's a pretty good chance it's going to get there. I personally think that gets taken out, well, if that holds, we can get some buying opportunities for a decent bounce. But at the moment, sell the rally. They are just about risk-reward, just on the verge of being okay, just over 400 bucks a micro. 2 people want to do it. You need about, I think, probably close to 7 grand minimum with that kind of risk profile. Those who've got 7 grand above and want to do it, no points. I've got that, not doing it. 2 of them, I'll put it down. Otherwise, steer away. And if you're a nervous disposition, okay, you've got 10 grand, steer away. This is not for the faint-hearted. This is for the tier 1 operatives, special forces, black ops, tier 1 guys. Anyone else want to do it, or should we move on? Okay, I'll move on. S&P, got the stuff you wanted in this here. S&P, that is more affordable. Remember the I'll just do it quick so you remember. Left click on the instrument of choice, right click, left click on specification, gives the contract size, the margin, the information. Full access means you can buy or sell it. Okay, gives you all that information there. All right, so contract 10, same to contract the NAS 10 and down, but different figures. This is 3,000, that's 11,000. So we can look for something here if you like it. Even that's not going to carry. I want a bit higher than that. I'd rather have it up here. Have it up here. $15, not going to kill a lot of people. 230 odd rand a micro. Wide stop. Okay, that's really with you. This one with a possibility of more downside. So you can get a weekly on this one. Monthly. Yeah, we can get something there. This is an old fib. We can get rid of this now. Where can we look for now? Okay. Call it 3.3. That'll do you. $300 a micro, and that'll do you. Out the way. And yeah, even if it jumps up, it'll jump up and around. You're still in the trade. Downside's the name of the game. I think it might get a jump up, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Look at the yesterday's indecision the day before, and look how the buyers came in pretty damn quick today already when it tried to pop up. And that high today, remember, this candle's still a work in progress, not completed yet. But having said that, still that high is lower than that, lower than that, lower than that, lower than that. You get the idea. So possibly a downside here. If you're a bit nervous, want a better price, well, clearly don't do it. Here's a possibility of downside here. We're not out of the macroeconomic big problem worldwide. I mentioned about the big debt worldwide earlier on. Still a bit to go. Remember, people like keeping everyone economically ignorant because that means these guys can talk and do what they bloody well like without the man street know what else going on. I'm telling you, it's not pretty out there. Okay, Cheryl. Anyone want to do this one? I'll wait a couple of moments. Give you time to think. You're furiously playing around with your charts, looking it up. Zeph not keen. Yeah, a bit nervous there. Oh, yeah. Well, don't do that one as well, and then see if you can afford. That's a different story. Anyone want to join? Ooh, that's the name there. Tasona. If you don't, fair enough. I mean, just that's up to you. Okay, Tasona, we haven't got a couple of people to join you, so I'm going to leave that. Just a second, I'll take this call. How's it, Jack?
No, are you busy?
Oh, well, I'm in the trading room, but I'll be quick if it's important. What is it?
I thought you were are you in the trading room?
Yeah, I'm doing the trading room. Okay, no problem. Okay, thought it might be urgent. Okay, no problem, Jack. Okay, wait. Okay, move on. Those want to do it, there it is. Don't blame for waiting, actually. Yeah, these are not ones to play around with, even the S&P at a cheaper rate. It's not one to play around with. Okay, right. If you're, slightly bit on the prudent side. Right, I've got a couple of others I want to look at, so we can move on. So I see anything from you. GBP CHF, we've got that one. Nzd Cad was another one I was looking at as a short. Look at the short on this one. I think you can pretty clearly see why. Below the 10, 50 and the 200. It's gone up and tested the line there, failed, tested again, failed. And seemed to be failing all the way along, going back to the 23rd of September, which is what's that, about 20, about 3 weeks. So what do you want to do? Do you think you're a bit nervous to sell it? Some guys might want to buy it. I don't know. I think it's a possibly short here. Oh, definitely a race. Yeah. But here's a tip, guys. If you're lazy like me, instead of going to the gym and getting your heart rate up, trade the Nasdaq or the S&P. Say you're going to the gym, eh? Yeah, just save you some money there, guys. Excuse my slightly off the head wall sense of humor. Eh? I've got a very, very strong sense of the ridiculous. Excuse me. Before we go to the pound CAD, is it still coming off, by the way? Oh, it's coming off beautifully, eh? Or is it jumped up? No, it's jumped up. Sorry. It's jumped and gone down. Jumped up again. Before we go to that, let's go back again. Some guys might have missed this. 51.96. We had the trade idea around 51 odd, 90 odd. Yeah, for the guys who missed it, might want to. Well, it's jumping around. Look at that. Look at the one out. Came flying off, jumping around again. So those who missed it got another chance to go in. Well put. I see it breaking the 50-day moving average. Look at that in a minute, Brent, and coming off. That certainly can. Yeah, if I'm at a gym, I'm not sure that probably wouldn't occur. I stick to power walks now, I'm afraid. Yeah, those who missed it got an opportunity to go back in again. Those who took profit quickly, well, so be it. But I couldn't because I was busy chatting to you guys, so I missed it. I might have taken otherwise. Anyway, whatever. But it's given another opportunity to go in. So those who missed it, I'll put it up there and go in. Here we are. Well pointed out there. So sell for those who missed it. We got an opportunity here. Let's use the ones we had this morning. 5280. It's 5280. Let's call that 5280, same thing. And what we got, the TP 1.49. Might not get, you can modify your stop. Normal story. We want to make a profit even if it doesn't get there. Not make a loss just because it doesn't quite get there if it goes into profit. Right, that's a heck of a risk reward there. Brilliant. 3. It's 120 bucks a micro. Start to come off again. So there you are. If you want to take it and you missed it, you've got a chance there. Good, good. Give the guys a chance to do it, and then we can move on. There you are. Yeah, some guys missed it, Zeph. Okay, you all got it? Good. Yeah. Just give the guys a like it. It seems a bit of feedback and like it. This is what it's all about, the trading room. So I want to get the guys get a chance to get the figures down there. Angel asked me a question earlier. I saw the name Angel come up. Did I miss anything there? Give me a moment. Yeah, missed the bus. Yeah, okay. I don't miss you there. Okay, thanks, Angel. Okay, right. So there we are. It's popped up and it does a lot of things. You got your stop out of the way there. So yeah, I don't know what's going to push that up there, but we've been confounded many times this market. That's why I always have a stop, however convinced you are. I've seen crazy things happen. But yeah, in all sanity, that should come off. Okay, moving on. What was I looking at just now? I forgot. Nzd Cad. That's right. Nzd Cad. Anyway, anyone like to look at a short on this one? We'll look at the NZD dollar in it as well. I see a short there. Assuming you get a risk rewards while you're mulling it over, as they say. That seems the right place. Can we view this down here? Sorry, it's still in the weekly. Okay, I'll stick to that one then. Okay, how far is that down there? That might just squeeze it. 76.64. Bit precise, but it'll do. Okay, we'll make it slightly lower, not a problem there. Remember, don't worry about that too much, that's good enough. If it doesn't get there and he gets here and he's stopped out, who cares? He made money. Don't forget, modify stop. Don't get it too close. Last thing you want is naturally to do, beginner guys, put your stop about 5 pips away because you're frightened. You'll be stopped out. And the noise, up and down is the noise. Get the jargon, pull back the noise up and down to keep the stop out of the way and modify it. Now, if it does come right, it comes down here, get your stop moved down, reduce risk. The idea is to get the stop into profit. So if you stopped out, you still make Tom. But give it a chance before you start modifying too quickly. Bear that in mind. But yeah, do you like it? Anyone like this one? I just think about it, just go swap, looking around a bit. Yeah, I think you can do this one. Okay, Nazir likes it. Anybody else? I presume Zephyr love it means the GBP cash. I'll talk about this one now. Nzd Cad. Anyone want to short this one? Hope this ship doesn't sell by the time you have your minds up, guys. This is not like red tape. You've got to be on it. Well, support in this case going short, but point taken. Okay, anyone else want to join? Do you want to join that, Angel, Bayers, Cheryl, Christine, Schumann, Benson? You don't want to join this one? What about you, Petra? You don't want to join? Oh, well done. No, that is decisive. Okay, Petra. No one wants to join it. Okay, fair enough then. We shall miss on this one. Moving on. If you want to join it yourself, you can, but not enough to put it down. The trading room idea. NZDJPY is a buy. A bit nervous on this one. I've got it written down. Look at it anyway. NZDJPY is a buy. I think, yeah, I do see upside, even though it's a sell zone. It's giving me a bit of jip. I think this is overcooked. I do see upside, but to make a bit nervous, you might want to see a bit of confirmation. But I do see, maybe if it pulls back a bit, we can buy that. When we come back, we can. This one we want to sell. Right up there, we know about the strength of the dollar. Round figure 56, we can see there. It's right on support there. A few sellers are coming in. Let's look at the weekly and the 4 hour quickly. Yep. Seller defending there, 4 hours. Sellers are defending, 1 hour. Bit range trading on 1 hour, give you that, There's a bit of a range trade there, I get that. But look at these wicks, defending. 15 helps you. 6 might be coming off a bit from here. We might, but what's the dollar doing? Still hovering just above 113. I suppose you could have a point saying Powell's got the, well, I don't know, some FOMC minutes rather than doing this thing at 8 o'clock, but that means it may. See a bit of dollar strength. Anybody like to short this or not keen? NZD USD. Okay. Want to leave this one, guys? I'm not going to be pushy on it because it's not the trade of the decade. I get that. But I quite like it, yeah. Not on my 80%ers, but it's, I give it 60%. Okay, not keen. We'll move on. Okay, I think that's me run out. Just a yen, that one, unfortunately, we can't find an entry there. That's the one I want. No, I'm not getting an entry there. And to go back to Zef's, oh yeah, NGAS. You want to have a look at. Our good favorite, slow moving NGAS. Might be slow. Again, you need a bit of money. If you want to do this, can be a bit slow. So you will have your money in that one for a while. So you've got to have another free margin left over to do other trades. Remember, we had a short out there a month or so ago. I think 2 months ago. Anyway, 6 or 7 weeks ago, whatever it was. The 9s, we shorted down, did incredibly well. I think now going into winter, we're now October, November, going into winter in the Northern Hemisphere. I think we're going to need some more gas for heating. Still got this war going on and the Ukraine carry on. I think it's seems to be holding around that level. I think it's a possibility of some upside on NGAS. Anyone like the look of this one? Bear in mind, it might take a bit of time to pan out. Anyone like the look of this one? What do you think about that? Just want to quickly shut to the charts. See, came down, buyers came in on the weekly. Having a bit of a problem here. I knew the problem. I remember now on the 4 hour. Only thing you might think of be prudent, wait for a break above the 4 hour before jumping in. That is my one big. I knew the big tick against, but remember what was. The 4 hour to break above the 50 times 4 hour moving average might get you a more confident, confirmed entry. Or if you want to be aggressive, maybe you want to look at it here, hold on for a bit with a stop down here somewhere and take it up. Anyone end it now or wait for the break? Yeah, probably prudent to wait for the break. Okay, keep a mind on that one. Guys, you're in the room, I might forget about it. Just say, listen, look at NGAS, make a note. We'll do this together. I might miss it, or you guys don't, and you bring it up. That's good stuff. Like the Nzd Cad who brought that. Well done. Got some other guys an opportunity to get in on it. Okay, right. And also Euro GBP was Zef's. He wants to do something with that. Any movement on that? Bear in mind the guard speaking up our street. Just bear that in mind. You're looking for a buy on that one. Might not be getting the entry you want there. Okay. That's me for all this. Oh, Brent. Yes, Brent. I see the down. I want this to be confirmed break on the 50. You see what I mean? If that whole candle can be below there, maybe it'll occur tomorrow, or I don't know. But, we can get a decent break below here, maybe wait till tomorrow confirmed or whatever, but I do see the downside there. But it's seemingly battling to break. This tried yesterday and tried again today. Held, do you see what I mean? It's trying to break through, there, and it seemed to be defended at the moment. So I think it'd be prudent before you celebrate through there. I do see downside here. I think it's seriously overcooked. Many fundamentals well reasoned by it. So having said that, yeah, I think maybe more prudent. Just wait for the break before we get too clever or too cute. But yeah, I see downside. If you want to be aggressive, go in now. We can put the stop above here. Yeah, you can put the stop up there. Maybe a little bit down 98, somewhere around about that level. $4.50 not much, and take it right back down here. So you might want to wait on Brent, or you might want to go and be aggressive, go in now. But it is, I have to say, it's back to break through. But every time it tries to go back up again, the sellers are coming in, and fundamentally see a bit of downside. Going to wait on the Brent, or going to be aggressive? But I hate to say it, look at this. Okay, wait, this is not looking pretty. Wow, what's happening now? God, it came down to 51.30 with 40 just now. What the hell's happening here? Maybe it's delayed reaction, 8 o'clock news coming out 2 hours, reacting 2 hours later. Oh, shit, I forgot. My mistake. Just remembered. Remember, the UK markets open up a little bit later after 8. I think the guys come to their desk. They're jumping around that. But I'm wondering why it's weakening it. Of course I know. Why it's strengthening it. I can only think with those bad figures coming out, they're starting to get hawkish on interest rates. Maybe they're preempting that. So I forgot, of course, these guys come to the desk after 9 o'clock, even though the figures released at 8. You know, the GBP European guys, you get the point for the hour. And especially a little bit later on the Europe, they're usually 2 hours plus GMT. I know pound is, UK is 1 hour plus GMT. So I think some of those guys get their desks around about 10 Europe and about 9 in the UK. That might be a bit of a jump expecting interest rates because the news was not good in the pound. Not looking pretty, but I think it's not good enough to take out against the Canadian to take out that 50-day moving average. So panic not, in my opinion. That's still looking good. In fact, quite frankly, I'm saying to you guys, if you didn't get into this one and you wanted, you're getting an even better price. I suggest you take it. Also true, Nazir, also true. Patience is the tough one. Character, discipline, patience. Yep, those are things you need. Okay, all right, so we wait on the ones mentioned. GBP CHF, anything news on that one? What happened there? Wow, that's not a pretty one either. Look at that. No, that's the guys come to their desk. I think a lot of them might be either exiting some short position they had, or jumping expecting interest rates and they arrived, or just maybe just clearing out big positions they want to exit, which might be pushing it up there. But whoa, that's not a pretty one. Don't think it's going to be sustained again, so you should still be in. Stop at 1019. You should still be in it. Yeah, probably the guys who took it had a very nervous moment or two. I still think the downside is there. Okay, so those looking too pretty, that's for sure. AUDJPY, is that looking any prettier? Not a good start, but we're still in. Panic not as yet. AUDJPY. This is about the same. So we haven't nothing major there. We've got to buy in it. It is at least up 3 or 4 pips, but after the last 2 from us, no. Remember as well, guys, the pound can be a bit of a maverick, can do funny things. That's the most jack in the box of all the currencies on the crosses and the majors, not the ZARs, the peso, not the exotics. Remember, but yeah. Yeah, that seems to be hovering a little bit above entry. But the point is, I just hope these come right, because that was not pretty. Not pretty. GBP, not pretty. I'm just going to a quick check of that again. I think it's starting to come off. Let's look at a shorter term chart. Start to come off, and the other one, the CHF. Ooh, that was not pretty. It's not pretty at all. See if we can get some movement. I know that's just purely trades got the desk doing something there. Sudden movement. Hey, look at that. Bang and then bang. You know, sit with that. I can't see why that should suddenly take to the north. There's no fundamental reason behind that. Yeah, we'll have to see. Not pretty anyway. That's all big as it may. When you're in it, you see that big red bloody thing going. It's not a nice thing to happen. Okay, right. Well, I've covered the ideas I've come across so far. Had a few of them written down for you guys today. Yeah, that's about it. I don't want to go over the trades we had in the last one. It's about a week, mostly out of date. And I think they did okay, most of them. So let's have a look. What was just thinking of that? That's chuck away. Chuck away. Chuck away. They're mostly good ones, I have to say. You know, chuck away. And maybe keep that just in case. Yeah, so chuck those away. They're out of date, but most of them seem to do okay. All right, okay, what's the time now? 15 minutes or so to go. Hopefully that will get a lot prettier by this afternoon. Any other ideas you want to discuss? For the record, I've run out. Any shares you want to look at on that line? You might want to look at some euro stuff if you want. The only worry about that, Nazir, is I like the Swissy and I like the US dollar. So you've got two roughy toughies in the boxing ring there. As you know, I like a roughy toughie against a not so roughy toughie. And both these are pretty strong. So that's my worry. The Swiss franc is more stable than the dollar. The dollar is the king at the moment, but that can change. The Swiss franc's fairly stable. To try and sell that, you're selling a dollar, which makes me a bit nervous. To buy it means you're selling the Swiss franc, which makes me a bit nervous, if you get my point. So, to be honest, yeah, I'm angling more to the upside, but I'm nervous of this. If I was going to do it, I'd rather do it lower on. But that doesn't say I'm right. I personally would leave this one alone, for the reason I just gave. Anybody disagree with me? Anyone to see this as a buy or a sell? You agree on that, Cheryl? I'll leave for other guys that want to do it. For the record, no, I'm not keen. Gold's coming up a bit. Might get back to 80 and look for a sell on that. You agree with me? Well, agree with me. You understand that. So you're right or wrong. It's my opinion, basically. FTSE. Remember, guys, when we talk about indices, most of them follow the Americans. So if you're negative on the American indices, there's a very good likelihood to be negative on the others. They don't go in tandem, clearly. But I would be very surprised to see the Dow take off to the north, while the FTSE or the DAX comes taking off to the south. Not say it's impossible, but it doesn't happen very often. We'll look at it anyway. See what I mean? Copycats, the Americans. We follow all their trends, don't forget. All the things you march down the street fighting for, usually set by the Americans. Always remember, sorry to sound cynical, but they forgot more about sales and marketing than the world ever learned. So, and yeah, just bear that in mind. Yeah, so if you like the shorten the NAS, you like the shorten the S&P, or you like shorten the FTSE. One thing about the FTSE I will say is it's less tumultuous. That's a nice long word. Less heavy on the old ticker. Yeah, that Credit Suisse problem the other day, yeah. Sipendili, the other day, which really weakened because that share came flying off. Wasn't bankruptcy, but it certainly was not good. They lost a couple of billions on various reasons, which weakened it a bit. I think a lot of it's recovered. Remember, it didn't go bankrupt. Not the bank itself, I mean. But yeah. And remember, it's a Swiss franc. It's not the euro or the dollar, their own currency. Remember, it's a money market as well. That's why they're very strong in immigration as well. And even if you did, though, they better get a good job. The prices are hectic. And it's a very controlled society as well. A lot of guys with Latin blood might find it extremely boring. I think I've got Latin blood. That's why I like the Mediterranean kind of thing. To be honest, I think Western Europe for me is a bit on the dull side, but that's just me. Yeah, go. I want to get a better price. Okay, the FTSE downside, if you like it. Gold, yeah. I still want to get at 1680. Try to move up. It's come off a bit, nothing major on the DXY, but nothing major. It's come off a bit. I'm just going to do the normal post in case some guys have missed it. Just give me a second. This is the economic calendar. I'm going to post 3 of them. I want you all to copy, paste, save. Economic calendar updates automatically. You must keep that handy. Minimize it when you open up your trades. You see on your computer in the morning and refer to it. This is the dollar index. Remember, guys, 6 currencies, the majors, Canada and the Swedish krona. Don't be confused the ones here. Okay, that's the DXY we talk about. Keep it. And I'm going to do the yields on the 10-year note for you as well. I've got the one I put the daily, whatever, normal sorts of chart. Yeah. So those who haven't got them, have them. Important. This is not a maybe. This is where you'll be excommunicated if you don't have them. It's that important. If you don't know what excommunication means, I'll tell you what it means. It means you've got to make a massive donation to my private Yachts in the Caribbean charity for stockbrokers if you don't have them. So there you are, save them. Yeah. Trouble is, Philip and Nazir, you don't use them properly. You can afford to give that fantastic donation to my favourite charity, Stockbrokers Without Luxury Yachts, eh? Okay. Or a better charity, if you can't afford that, is my other main favourite one, the MLO, the Men's Liberation Organization. How about that one? Right back at the yeah. Some guys are so broke, rowing boats even got holes in them. I'm sorry, Cheryl, but you can't be a member of the Men's Liberation Organization. It's an extremely sexist organization in favor of men only. Those are old enough, remember the old Khukba about 30 years ago? Men only. Yeah. Very strict rules on that one. Okay, anyway, I'm waffling a bit of nonsense now, so we'll just move on a bit. Getting near 11 o'clock. I've run out of ideas. I hope that bloody GBP CAD comes right. Getting a bit seriously worried by then. Where's the stop? 80. I'll just hope that holds. It's above there anyway, so what's it doing here? Cool. It's not playing Jippo with me. Can't just trace come to the desk. What's happening there? Probably find out later on. Maybe the AUD will give us some rescue. What's that doing? See, it's trying to come down, Brent. That's good. AUD/JPY is not much happening there. 91.50. It's going up a little bit. At least that's trying to make some go of it. Brent, as you can see, it's trying to come off a bit. See, it pops up, it's trying to come off. I think we could get a break sometime, not today, tomorrow, where it breaks down. If it does, what a pleasure. And we can sell it coming back down here. I know a certain individual in this one saying a bit of a torrid time of it, but it's getting slowly better. Okay. I like that. I like that. In fact, I like it very much. We need to chill. Everything will stabilize after the noise. That's how I use a few words when I use 50 words. Excellent. What a bad habit. I use 10 words and 1 word will do. That's how it should be done. We need to chill. Everything will stabilize after noise. Excellent. take note. That actually, on that subject, Zeph, you know the score. One of the problems of this business, it's so damn transparent. I always use the example, did you know your house went up? No, your house went down in value over the last week by, let's say, 10,000 Rand. You don't know, you live in it, you probably don't care because it's out of sight, out of mind. Every cent moving here is transparent in front of you, and it can play havoc with the old site. So I just push the bloody thing out of the way and try not to stare at it, because you can will as much as you like, but the market will do what it wants to do. It doesn't take much notice of us, I'm afraid. Bit of uncaring at times, I say. Don't think the market is much of a bunny hugger. That's true, but make sure you, when you do the upgrades, it does help the price of the house. I mean, I put a lovely Lapa and pub in mine, and then decided to sell it. And the people coming through said they didn't want pubs, they don't drink, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, not necessarily. And a lovely pool, and they said, no, I've got kids, we don't want a pool. So that was another negative. So just be careful of that. Very few of us take our own advice. We can preach how it should be done, but when the emotions take over, we tend to ignore it. Then look at another house then. That's what I told them. I sold it in the end, so it was all right. Give you my secrets away. I actually had two pubs, one inside and a pub on the outside as well. And a pool in between. Decadence, eh? Okay, it's about to running time now as well. We're going to waffle time, as we know. Okay, all right, guys. Just hope those trades come right. We'll check again at 4 o'clock and see if I'm in tears. That's also true. I think that's actually what it was for. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I just hope they come right. Otherwise, I'm going to be whinging like only a pom can, as they say. All right. Okay, guys. Good enough. Cheers, Isabel. Hope you all learned something. Hope you added value, even the ones like Isabel have been before. And Kareem, great to have you here, Kareem. Fantastic, yeah. Those added some value, even the more experienced ones, picked a few things up here. Remember, always, it's difference of opinions. Someone says, no, I think it's a long, I think it's a short. I like that. So we'll put a short and a long down and see how it pans out. Before we go, just want to remember the old Eurocert chef. I lost badly on that one to Zeph. Remember that one? You saw a long and it went well, short, and then it worked out for me the next time round. So this is another one I'm looking for short on. Now we'll make mind of that, Zeph. If that can break the 50, I'm looking again for short on this one. So keep an eye on that one. Maybe we can get a short here. As long as you look for a long, and we'll have a bit of fun. Okay. See you later again, guys. And we'll catch up later. Maybe a few shares we can find them as well. Great stuff. Fantastic. Stick it out. This is not a one-cast job. This is an ongoing process. The trading room, please stick it out. Okay. Thanks, guys, and thanks for the support. Cheers. Just relieving someone's joining. Sure. Bye, Angel. Thanks for and to acknowledge all the people who were proactive. Good stuff. Sorry, Buckley, we're just about closing up now. Came a little bit late to the show, but if you can make it before, we'll catch you then. Cheers, Tebo. And I know you're learning, as you said, so that's great stuff. And I hope Tata and everyone else is as well. Good enough. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Philip.